It's just comedy.
The Jell-O Program, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston and Phil Harris and his orchestra.
Thank you. This is Groucho Marx. Well, here I am, stepping in over my head again.
With Fibber McGee and Molly.
Folks, this is just as new to me as it is to you.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny, this is Rochester.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Well, what an original greeting.
Hello and welcome to another week of comedy, funny, haha, on Dwayne Old Time Radio. One thing, please subscribe to my channel. If you enjoy what I'm doing, subscribing is 100% free. Also, one more thing, if you have a few seconds or 1 minute, please leave a review on your preferred podcast service, especially if you're on Apple, Spotify, or really just your preferred podcast service. Thank you and hope you enjoy. Let's start the month of April on Comedy Funny, haha, with an old friend. Is it really a friend? Sure, why not? An old friend, The Henry Morgan Show. We haven't listened to The Henry Morgan Show in quite a long time. This one is titled Pockets, and this aired October 30th, 1946.
Transcribed from an earlier network broadcast.
The following program was written while the author was, I am sorry to say, under the influence of money. Eversharp, manufacturers of Eversharp Chick Injector Razors and Blades, bring you the Henry Morgan Show, featuring Bernie Green and his orchestra and a few surprises. Good evening, anybody. Here's Morgan. Thank you. Thank you. This evening, I would like you to consider the pocket and what it has done for elephants. Now, without pockets, there would be no pool tables. Without pool tables, we wouldn't need ivory to make billiard balls. And if we didn't need ivory, elephants would be allowed to multiply until they overran the earth, thus sending the cost of peanuts sky high. Logical. And the pocket led to the discovery of the pocket magazine. The pocket magazine. The Morgan Digest. The only pocket magazine that comes with the pocket. At the moment, there are thousands of magazines on the newsstands today, such as the Saturday Evening Bath, the Homely Woman's Companion, Look, Peek, Squint, the Homeless Ladies Journal, Pick, Click, Eversharp, Chick, that is. Nobody has time to read them all. So all magazines today are sent to my huge digesting plant in Stomach, Idaho. There the articles are condensed and then reprinted in the Morgan Digest, a family magazine which appeals both to youngsters and to people in the Middle Ages. It is printed in every language, including chartreuse and uranium. There's a special kiddies edition that comes with the pages already torn out. There's a Subway edition, which you paste inside your glasses. During the rush hour, when you have one hand clutching the subway strap and the other on your wallet, you simply turn the pages with your eyelashes. Gee, I sure wish I had time to tell you about our special limited trial offer, which ended last night. It applies to all quintuplets, one-eyed jacks, and survivors of the Alamo. This special offer, of course, is good everywhere except in the United States. Bernie, open tonight's copy of the Morgan Magazine Digest. Bernie. This is Digest Night, the condensed fanfare. The first article in the Morgan Magazine Digest is by the great foreign correspondent, Rudley Mongoose. Just returned from a 12-minute visit to the country of Snoznia. Mr. Mongoose is known as the author of such revealing books as Austria, a Country of Austrians. South Africa, Land of Smuts. The Boer War and Why It Was Boring. And Philadelphia, Gateway to India. The following article was both written and condensed by Mr. Mongoose for the Morgan Digest. It's entitled Snoznia, a Country to Watch. Snoznia, a country to watch. So I watched it. My plane landed in Snoznia, capital of Snoznia, early in January, or perhaps February, depending on what calendar you use. As you know, the Snoznian week has 2 Fridays because they're so fond of fish. As we landed, thousands of hungry Snoznians gathered about the plane, begging for 1946 Chevrolets. I naturally gave out as many as I could. After all, I'd come to learn something about these strange, mysterious, unknown people about whom I'd already written so much. What's wrong with the first 5 rows here? As I walked along the main street of Snoznia, suddenly, without warning, a sinister native stopped me and muttered,
"Your shoelaces are untied."
This proved to me that I was being watched. Weird situation. I was watching Snoznia, and Snoznia was watching me. Then I noticed 2 sinister figures following me, members of the dread SPCA. And warily one approached me and said,
"Can you tell me whether the subway is to the right or to the left?"
This proved that the Snoznians are a confused people. They don't know which way to turn. Later, I wormed my way into the office of General Horatio Ticklish, widely known for his book on military caution, entitled Shh. I said to him, "General, I am Mongoose."
Mongoose, I'm ticklish.
Yes. General, off the record, how is the Army?
At full strength.
Oh, really?
Yes, we'll beat the pants off Navy on Saturday.
Good. How about your armaments?
We have 3,200 tanks, 4,200 planes, 3,000 cannon, and 4,200 mortars.
I knew there must be a reason for all this secrecy. As I left the office, I stopped a man on the street and I said, "Pardon me, Snoznian, have you a match?"
Match? Just a second. No, sorry, bud, I'm all out of matches.
My suspicions were confirmed. These Snoznians are hoarding great quantities of sulfur, a chemical material. Or they have no sulfur at all. Or both. I left there with all the facts unearthed. My 12 minutes well spent. And my message is, all Americans must watch Snoznia. I just can't watch it all by myself. Page 4 of the Morgan Digest. A quiz. Your personality is you. Or else, who is it? Answer this quiz and find out if you are anybody. Today's question. Will you make a good mate? You take the test, lady.
All right.
Do men frequently call you up for dates?
No.
Do men ever call you up?
No.
Does this discourage you?
No.
Why not?
I haven't got a telephone.
Next question. Do you demand your future husband to be affectionate and attentive at all times?
Yes.
Do you insist that he be handsome, intelligent, witty, and wealthy?
Yes.
Put a check in the box marked Old Maid and turn the page. Let's go back. We forgot to read the little filler at the bottom of page 4. It'll only take a second. Read it, Charlie. It says, How I Conquered Alcohol by William C. Fields.
Well, Mark, you see, it's like this. I was
Sorry.
standing on this corner,
Sorry.
see, minding my own
I'm
business.
sorry.
See?
No, please. This joke This joke belongs in Morgan's Hip Pocket Digest. Turn the page, Bernie.
A little-known fact of history, condensed from a big fact.
Oh, that's me. We all remember Washington's eloquence at Gettysburg. I'm sorry, I was handy. We remember Lincoln's great speech at Valley Forge. Here is a speech almost as famous, which we should never forget. The scene, a small Kentucky village. Farmers from miles around have gathered about a platform in a clearing near the edge of town. They're waiting.
Well, Jed, reckon he's going to show up and start soon?
Mighty soon, should be. I rushed my crops to be in time for this.
We all did. Looky, Jed, he's coming now.
He sure is. He's climbing right up there on that
Hush
platform.
up, Jed. He's fixing to speak.
Page 18. A commercial. Now, Charlie Irving, the announcer, will read the original commercial as it was written by the sponsor. I will read the condensation for the digest. Go ahead, Charlie.
The Ever-Sharp Schick Injector Razor. Condense that, Henry.
It.
The Ever-Sharp Schick Injector Razor changes blades automatically. No blades to unwrap, no cut fingers.
Bloodless.
It's the fastest, safest, smoothest shave in the world. Just push, pull, click, click, and you have a new blade.
Click.
The Ever-Sharp Schick Injector Razor and a 20-blade injector are only $1.25. You get a smooth shave, a fast shave.
Ever-Sharp Schick. Quick.
Page 23 of the Morgan Magazine Digest.
Giants of Science.
The story of Dr. Schluber.
This article condensed from Unpopular Mechanics magazine.
Lost in the obscurity of the 17th century is the story of Morgan Schuber, inventor of the buttonhole. Although buttons had been made for centuries, they were useless because there were no buttonholes. Button manufacturers facing ruin looked to science, but science looked out the window. The best scientific minds in Europe had given up in despair.
I am one of the best scientific minds in Europe. I give up in despair.
I give up in despair.
I give up in despair.
Me too.
But Dr. Schluber did not despair. He took his theory to the academy.
And I say in closing, gentlemen, if there is buttons, and I believe there is, we must have buttonholes. I will discover it single-handed. Thank you.
Pardon me, Dr. Schluber.
Yes?
Don't worry about them. I believe in you. As a matter of fact, I've been working on a little invention of my own.
Is that so? What's your name?
Zipper, Dr. Zipper. Here, let me help you on with your coat. Pity there's no way to button it.
Yes, there's no way to button my coat, but I intend to find a way.
Let me work with you, Maestro.
Tell me, are you prepared to spend long hours in a cold, damp laboratory, toiling day and night, straining your eyes, going without food, doing nothing but work?
Yes, Maestro.
Good, then I won't have to do it.
So, back they went to Schluber's laboratory, and the endless experiments began once more.
Experiment 643 failed. 644 failed. 645 failed.
644 failed. 645 failed. Can't you say anything else?
Yes, sir. 646 failed. 647 failed.
Look, Zipper, I don't understand why we don't get nowhere.
Well, Maestro, I think the reason is that we haven't had an accident. All great discoveries are the result of an accident. Yes, sir.
Ridiculous. Hand me that vial of acid.
Here you are, Maestro.
Clumsy oaf, baboon, dummkopf, butterfingers, it schlitzed all over.
I only spilled 2 drops on this piece of Harris tweed. It burned a hole right through the cloth.
Pete, don't touch it. Hand me a button.
Here, Maestro. Gosh.
You see? We've been making buttonholes circular. But we should have been making them lengthwise or sidewise, not circular.
Congratulations. You have invented the buttonhole.
Precisely. Now then, Zipper, what's this nonsense you was trying to invent?
Are animals smarter than people? The editors of the Morgan Digest will pay $10 for anecdotes describing unusual intelligence in animals, and $10,000 for anecdotes describing unusual intelligence in people.
Our first $10 prize winner is Miss Samantha Boggs of Utah, who writes,
I have a cat named Tabby. When Tabby was a kitten, she used to frisk with a ball of yarn while I was knitting. Well, one day she playfully reached for my knitting needles, and I gave them to her. Yes. Before I knew it, she had turned the heel of a sock and was rapidly knitting the foot. However, she has improved, and now she does all my knitting while I frisk on the floor with a ball of yarn.
Our next $10 winner is Mr. Swifty Otis of New York, who writes,
One day last week, I was walking in the woods cataloging birdies. I passed John Kiernan, nodded to him, and was about to enter a description of his plumage in my notebook when I espied a titwillow. I was surprised, as it is past the time when titwillows leave for Florida. That is, those who can afford it. I stepped up to him and I said, Tell me, Dickie Bird, why do you sit singing willow, titwillow, when all the others have left for Florida? With a shake of his poor little head, he replied,
Why should I sit here beating my gums just so you can get $10 from the Morgan Digest?
and our last $10 winner.
Say, just a minute.
Who are you?
I'm a dog. Now, I've had some unusual experience.
No, please,
and
I'm very sorry. No talking dogs. We have to draw the line somewhere.
Look, Mac, I'm a veteran. 3 years in the canine corps.
No, I'm very sorry. This program is for people. Now, if you've had an unusual experience, just get one of your Army buddies to write it in for you.
Who would I know that can write? I hung around with the officers.
I'm terribly sorry, but that's the way it is.
Discrimination, that's what it is. Is that what we fought for?
Well, it's too bad.
That's some life. It shouldn't happen to a human being.
Don't forget, the Morgan Digest will pay $10 for anecdotes describing unusual intelligence in animals and $10,000 for stories of unusual intelligence in people. There were no $10,000 winners this week. Page 35. Mr. Bertie Green and his orchestra present a special condensation of the opera Carmen. In order to explain this shorter way, we present Monsieur Henri Morgan, who will read the program notes. Monsieur Morgan.
Bonsoir, mesdames, messieurs. For the first act of Carmen, the stage is set to resemble a huge stage. Carmen himself, she are working in the factory of cigarettes. Carmen, she is like a flame, but she do not smoke. Her hair is pure gold, and she has 3 teeth of the same material. Overture. Act 2. Carmen. Oh, she is a dangerous lot. She is also a vacant lot. And she is desolate. She has given up her job in the factory of the cigarettes because every time she have to make the proof positive, It's come back marked negative. Which reminds to me a very funny story. It seems this fellow is out with his girl, and he says to her, est-ce que vous êtes le conquis de le fort diable non rajout? And she says, tenez, pourquoi les enfants camembert les anges de pessoir? And he says, but there was not a lady, that was a girl to whom I am married with her. Act 2. Act 3. Carmen is engaged to marry Henri, but Henri first must get divorced from Marie, who is to get the money from Pierre. He owes 500 francs to Escamillo, who is out of town with the doctor. Meanwhile, what of the dark stranger? And who will take care of little Louise? And what about Aunt Bessie's busted leg? Now, in order to make the condense, this part of opera must go very quick. Act 4. The bullfight. Carmen has no money, and the OPA have removed the ceiling on meat. And Escamillo says, do not, no, never mind. I will get you an old bull. This makes Carmen happy. So, after the fight, he kill her. I hate opera. Thank you, Carmen Lombardo.
Page 41. A quiz. We're back to the digest. Words are power. Without them, you would have trouble speaking. This quiz was prepared for the digest by the leading dictionary binder, Dr. Wilbur Punk.
The average person learns his basic vocabulary before the age of 3. This consists of 6 basic expressions, namely, mama, papa, no, I won't, I don't wanna, and I hate you. As an adult, he learns, 50 words a year, of which 48 can't be used in mixed company. Now, the following quiz will help you to enlarge your vocabulary. Contestant, are you ready for the questions?
Yes, sir.
First question. What is the meaning of tinsel? Take your choice. Tinsel is A, the name of a Russian general.
Nah.
B, a small piece of tin.
Who do you think you're kidding?
Very well. C, the trimming on a Christmas tree.
You're out of your mind.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're wrong. It is the trimming on a Christmas tree.
Go on home. Your mother wants you. It's something a doctor cuts out of you.
What?
Sure. I had my tonsils cut out when I was a kid.
You have now completed the quiz. Put a check in the box marked moron and go on to the next page. Wondered where that note was. In the belief that most radio listeners are deaf, Mr. Eversharp suggested that we put in another commercial about here, even though we've already had one. And, of course, I said absolutely no. Here is Mr. Ted Husing.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Again, tonight we bring you the famous Eversharp Chick Shave-A-Thon, the most daring demonstration ever conducted by any razor. Right before this microphone, in full view of our studio audience, we will now conduct another actual shaving contest which proves week after week that the Eversharp Chick Injector Razor gives the world's fastest, easiest, smoothest shave. Last week, an Eversharp Chick user whisked in the winner in the record-breaking time of 32 seconds. Well, now tonight we have 6 more contestants picked at random from the studio audience. Men from Ohio, Connecticut, New York, the Bronx, and 2 of these men are from New Jersey. 3 of them are going to shave with the Eversharp Chick Injector Razors, and 3 will use other well-known safety razors. Well, now, who's going to win tonight's big shave-a-thon? Here the contestants are out on the stage. They're all lathered up. They're at the post. They're waiting for the signal. And here it is. And they're off. Yes, tonight's big shave-a-thon is on. I wish you could see these 6 shavers up here tonight on the stage. They're all busily engaged in getting underway fast. Now, if you look at these men with the Eversharp Chick, you'll see they're almost already out in front because there's no blade to unwrap. All you do is pull, push, click, click, and there's a blade all ready to shave you. Fast, you said it. Smooth, right again. Easy, say, mister, it's a romp with the Eversharp Chick. It's the world's only razor with the automatic blade changer. Saves your time and saves your skin, too. Now, who's that out in front? Well, it's too very close, much too close. These men are all half-shaved already. Fast, easy, smooth, with gentle strokes. These men are shaving their faces as slick as a billiard ball. Now, see how easily that man shaves under his nose and around his lips? He's using an Eversharp Chick, and the race is close. Once over is enough for the fastest, easiest, smoothest shave of your life. And say, men, shave slick, use Eversharp Chick for the fastest, easiest, smoothest shave of your life. And there's the winner. There goes the bell, and here's tonight's winner, the second man over there. A close race, and that was an Eversharp Chick Injector Razor that he was using, proving once again it's the fastest, easiest, smoothest shave in the world. And now, Charlie Irving, that was exciting. What was the official time?
Well, Ted, it's 54 seconds, and the winner using an Eversharp Chick Injector Razor is Mr. Schweitzer of New Jersey.
Congratulations, Mr. Schweitzer. Thank you.
I don't know what you people at home got out of that, but I suppose it's better than having no radio at all.
End section. The Morgan Magazine Digest presents the condensation of a full-length book. This week, we cut down the current bestseller, Drenched. This is the dramatic story of a lonely man and his lonely wife in their lonely house. Then came the storm. We present the story of a wet man and his wet wife in their wet house. Drenched.
It was January. A cold wind roared through Maine. The wind is always cold as it goes through Maine. Who isn't? Over my 4-story house, the wind is rising in fury. I look at the barometer. Falling. I catch it and put it back on the hook. The wind is rising in fury. And my wife comes down the stairs and says,
"Is the wind rising in fury?"
She asked. "Yes," I rejoined.
"Oh,"
she said. I knew from her expression that though on the outside she was calm, on the inside she had her usual stomach trouble. I looked at her pale, timid, lovely face, and I thought to myself for the 1,000th time, how can I get rid of her?
Cut 50 pages while author describes how to get rid of her.
The wind kept rising in fury over my 2-story house.
Cut 55 pages about more rain and hail and things like that there.
The wind kept rising in fury over my 1-story house. And I cursed to myself. "Cut," I said. Again, my wife came down the circular stairway. There was a sudden rush of wind. Rush of wind. I looked at the circular stairway. It was straight. The wind kept rising in fury. My wife looked frightened as she'd been through a terrible experience. I asked her, "Where were you?"
"I went over the Smith's house."
"You visited the Smiths?"
"No, I just went over their house."
I'm so dazed. I've forgotten. Where is the Smith's house?
There, it's
wind rose in fury. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Some unfortunate lost in the storm, I opined. So I opined the door. It was my handyman, Virgil. Yes, Virgil, what is it?
Sir, I've news for you.
What's the news?
The wind is rising in fury.
Thank you, Virgil. I closed the door. Well, Virgil, what are you still doing in my house?
I'm not in. You're out.
Cut, start, rain, start.
At last, the storm had broken. Now the birds rose in fury. No trees. My wife and I took a solemn vow never to go through another winter in Maine together. So she went to Massachusetts and I went to Vermont. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we intended to do the section from the digest called The Most Unforgettable Character I've Ever Met. Oh, that's written wrong. Called The Most Forgettable Character I've Ever Met. But it was me.
Don't be discouraged. Tune in again next week because...
Morgan will be on this same corner in front of the cigar store again next week at this same time.
Eversharp, manufacturers of Eversharp chick injector razors and blades, invite you to tune in same time, same station next week when Eversharp will again bring you the Henry Morgan Show. They're yours again. Eversharp chick injector blades for the world's fastest, safest, smoothest shave. Just insert the automatic blade changer in your Eversharp chick injector razor. Push, pull, click, and you're ready to shave. 20 blades, 75 cents at good stores everywhere. This is Charles Irving saying goodnight for Eversharp.
This program was transcribed from an earlier network broadcast. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
Thank you for listening to and showing your support for my podcast. If you would like to receive notifications of when new episodes are posted, please subscribe to my channel. Subscriptions are 100% free, and they really help me get an idea of how I'm doing. Well, hope you enjoyed, and until next time, stay safe, wish you well, and as always, peace.